always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, well, life would still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. Leave me, the life would still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be. God only knows what I'd be without.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's Larsen Live. It is June 14th, 2025. We opened up with the one and only God Only Knows by the Beach Boys from Pet Sounds, which seemed quite relevant considering what's going on in Los Angeles, comparing and contrasting the, idyllic, romanticized LA and San Francisco Bay of the Beach Boys to the hellscape California is today. It's kind of like comparing a nice glass of wine to a syphilitic bitch slap to the face. It seemed pretty fitting. Brian Wilson is no longer with us. He died very recently. In fact, he died a couple days ago. And, as he died, so too is California dying. Pet Sounds is, of course, an absolute masterpiece of popular music. It's sort of the moment where the Beach Boys sort of abandoned surf rock as you know it, and they did this sort of, I don't even know what you call it. I mean, I don't think anyone knows exactly what you can call a song like Pet Sounds or anything else on, I got my words mixed up. I don't know what anybody could call an album like Pet Sounds or a song like God Only Knows. It's some sort of, neo-revival of, the Sacred Heart, Protestant church songs or something. The Sacred Heart, of course. I got a new subscriber, VP. Hello, sir. Yes, perhaps Brian Wilson, who is very much an all-American boy, at least on paper, was sort of digging deep into some sort of primeval, Protestant choral tradition of the American, Great Awakening. I don't know if he thought about it that hard, but, most of the Beach Boys are dead, and yet Mike Love still lives. God Only Knows is not the saddest song in the Beach Boys' oeuvre. Most people would say, until I die, I will maintain until I die. That Disney Girls 1957 is the saddest song the Beach Boys ever did, which I was going to do, but then I realized Brian Wilson was not on that song. He had nothing to do with that song, so I decided to do a Brian Wilson penned piece. Biff Stankovich says, yo, bro, and yo, in Los Angeles. ICE is, rounding up illegal immigrants. Apparently, according to Tom Homan, I don't know if his word is valid, but apparently this started out as a riot against a criminal arrest, which then became a general anti-immigration arrest. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have that much sympathy for the rioters. Mainly it's the fact that these are openly irredentist twats, screaming about the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which, I should point out that even people in Mexico don't really care about this all that much. It's really just these people. I mean, it's historically inaccurate, what they're saying. I would like to point out that there were less than 20,000 people in the entirety of the Mexican cession in 1848, and they were all given American citizenship. So, no, sir, you who came across the border illegally in 1995, the border did not, in fact, cross you. You crossed the border. And I certainly don't approve of people throwing rocks and bricks and, Molotov cocktails at the police, all of which have been shown. Of course, the LAPD is not entirely innocent in this regard either. I mean, they're grossly overstepping things. They've detained people who are here legally. And, it's unfortunate. It's not a good look. I agree, it's not a good look. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You've literally been kicking the can down the road with immigration ever since the Reagan administration, and now it's boiling over. Like, what did you expect was going to happen? I mean, we just gave them amnesty, and they can't believe they think that if they just stand around, they'll eventually get citizenship. Why would they think that? I don't know. Yeah, thanks, Reagan. I also know that they've been saying there's, 10 to 20 illegal immigrants in this country for the past 30 years, so I'm going to say it's probably at least triple that number. When you have people openly flaunting being illegal and waving their balls in the country's face as if to say we don't have rule of law, and we really don't have rule of law. So, now all of a sudden you're trying to course correct, and yeah, there's going to be riots. What do you expect is going to happen? Yeah, it sucks. It's not a good look. If you had dealt with this sensibly at the start when there was 1 million illegal immigrants instead of 60, you probably could have done this a lot cleaner, a lot less violently. Dare I say, you could have gotten the due process everybody's whining about. Oh no, you're not doing due process with the rioters. I'm sorry, are we supposed to due process 60 million people? It's not very easy. All right, boy, the viewers stream is interesting. We went from 8 to 4 people, in the blink of an eye. Who knows what's going on? Well, I'm sure it's all good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my microphone. I just checked. But yeah, I don't really have that much sympathy for either party, really. I wish we had dealt with this in a sensible manner 50 years ago. But we didn't, and here we are. I would like to stress again that I'm totally cool with people coming here legally and going through proper channels and, following the rules and laws and paying taxes and contributing to society. I'm cool with that. But, again, there's no other country on the planet that is this ridiculously tolerant towards illegals in the United States. No one else puts up with this crap. Which I guess just goes to show you that, your kindness will be rewarded with just antipathy and smug hatred. So remember, kids, the moral of the story is never be nice to anybody. Kidding. People are like screaming, oh, look, oh my god, the National Guard has been summoned. This is like literally martial law. Trump is literally Hitler, as if the National Guard doesn't usually get summoned during riot situations. As far as I'm aware, no rioters have been killed yet. There's been some tear gas and things being shot, but as far as I'm aware, no one's dead. If I'm wrong, please correct me on that. Oh boy, let's look at some comments there. Absolutely nothing. That's wonderful. Speaking of LA, something has been going on with Waymo. Waymo is some sort of automated food delivery thing, and they are moving their cars out of LA furiously. On the one hand, I should say, as an American, there is still something to be said for a country where you can just, dive onto an app and just order food or groceries or anything really. I mean, that is something of a civilizational achievement. But on the other hand, you have the technological civilization clashing with, feral, brappy nonsense. Somebody puts it best. Artificial intelligence discovers white flight as Waymo fiercely gets their automated cars out of Los Angeles. I should point out that AI has long had a racism problem where they put in all the data for the AI to parse and draw conclusions from, and it just immediately becomes extremely racist. I'll let you draw your own conclusions there as to why that would happen. I mentioned this a while back with I Show Dubs or whatever that asshole streamer is who was beating up the robot. But I think we might just manifest racist Skynet into existence, and honestly at this point I'm kind of for it just because the world really sucks and anything would be better, just personally speaking. Al from Riga says, I can comment more if you like, I'm a bit tired. Well, sir, I don't want you to overexert yourself with commenting, but it does upset me a bit when I'm dropping straight heat and nobody notices. Speaking of the Trump administration, protests are going on in the United States and all around the world as No King's Day. Except in the UK and Canada, they have to change it to No Tyrant's Day because those countries are in fact ruled by a king. I mean, again, I don't really see what you have to protest about, considering... Well, first of all, I don't know what protesting a country in another country is really going to accomplish. A protest isn't going to accomplish anything unless you actively jeopardize something of the ruling parties. And I'm not saying commit violence, just like, blockade the street or, boycott or something. Do something to them that's going to affect them, non-violently, of course. Secondly, I really don't see how Europe's or Canada are doing any better than us, to be quite honest. I mean, yeah, they love shitting on America, but, get them to stop talking about America for 1 second. I know that's very difficult for them. They'll start whining about how bad their countries are. And look, America sucks right now, right? I know it does. Everybody knows it sucks. But I just don't see any country doing that much better. Yeah, case in point, a growing trend in France and other European countries is women are buying pet piggies. Why? Well, I'll let you decide for yourself. Oh, to hell with it, I'll tell you. In France, it is apparently such a problem that young women are being sexually harassed and sexually assaulted by Muslim men. They're buying pet pigs to protect them on the street and public transport. Here we see a young mademoiselle with a nice little piggy. Looks like it's probably about 100 pounds or so. It's got a Nice little shoulder harness on. And she is walking her pet piggy. I mean, good for them, I guess. I mean, your government is clearly doing nothing to protect you from these harassers, so you got to take it to the barnyard, as they say. You got to take some full bore action. It's swine time. I can't think of any more pig puns. Yes, you're buying the hogs. You're going hog wild. There's another one. For protection. Hey, good for them. Now, I question how effective this is going to be. Not in warding off Muslim men, because pigs will do such a thing. But pigs are not easy to deal with. And these are like little piggies, like little pot-bellied pigs. I think they max out at about 100 pounds, maybe 200 pounds, like the size of a big dog. Then you got the teacup pigs; those max out at about 50 pounds. But I don't know how in tune with I don't know how in tune your average French lass is with the agricultural sector. Like Becca Scene here or whatever. Boy, I'm referencing a lot of obscure things. But a lot of people seem to be under the impression that piggies are just little cute, oink oink animals. They're not. First of all, pigs can get very, very big. And I suppose that would ward off, the Saracen. If you're walking some, 600-pound Dorok on a leash. And, pigs can be nasty. They can fight. Yeah, pigs will mess you up if you, especially if you have a big one. But my question is, I don't know if some, city girl from Paris is going to be able to handle that much pork on a leash. Secondly, sorry, I just bumped into my microphone there. Secondly, pigs are, from what I've heard, they're nasty little bastards, especially the males. They, once they get, go through puberty, they just start, spewing their pig jizz all over the place and making a mess of things. Then they root around it in your furniture, tear up the stuffing, and so on and so forth. They also poop a lot, so you got to have that whole lagoon. So, best of luck to them. But we'll see how this goes. I have no doubt, again, that a pig will be able to fend off, several men. Because, pigs can be pretty nasty in a fight. But I just hope that the women can handle the pigs. Technically speaking, couldn't you just get a big dog? I mean, dogs are also haram in the Muslim religion. So, a big dog could do the job just as much, and it's much... Well, I mean, I guess a pig is probably smarter than your average dog. But, probably not as easy to train. Somebody in the comments says, the Twitter comments, if you don't want to be harassed by men, why are you wearing leggings accentuating your ass like that, woman? Jeez. Gee, I don't know, maybe because France, for the time being, a woman is allowed to wear as she pleases. And, I'm in favor of this. Alf Rodriguez says, Trump used the royal we to deny being a king, based beyond belief. Yes, there's much I dislike about Trump, but he is very amusing. Biff Slankovich says, let's concentrate on Ukraine and Israel and Iran. Forget about the immigration issues. Well, I mean, to be honest, I think that issues pertaining to immigration are a lot more important than some bitch fest going on overseas. I mean, look, I've known Israeli people. I've gone along with them, cool. I have nothing against them. I just don't think America should be involved at all. Shinseki Evans says Muslims hate dogs just as much as pigs. Bill Klinkovich says pig juice. I'm not sure where you're getting, sir. Oh, wait. Yes, pigs, when they, yes, I know what you're referring to. Actually, when pigs go through puberty, they're like a dog, like humping things, but like it's like a lot worse, from what I've been told. Hey, Alfremiga says, what should that cute Asian travel vlogger bring to India to protect herself from Hindus? Yes, that is a mystery. Like, I don't know, like unredeemed Microsoft gift cards. I don't know. I personally would advise her to like not go to India as a single woman, but that's just me. Yes, but yes, let's talk about Israel and Iran. Things are going down. Okay, Israel has launched some tactical strikes on Iran, taking out some of their generals, including a General Salami. I think they meant to say Solomon, but it came out as General Salami. Let me look that up. Yes, apparently there was a Iranian general, Hossein Salami, head of the Revolutionary Guards, is killed in an Israeli airstrike. So yes, his name is Salami. Incidentally, the actor who played Salami in The White Shadow was also in the Master Ninja movies with Lee Van Cleef. So, Salami can fight, possibly with Salami. Also, my God, I just referenced The White Shadow in 2025. I am a huge loser. And Master Ninja while I'm at it. So yes, General Salami is no more. He's now like General Baloney or something. Incidentally, my lovely wife Instacarted some groceries, and for some reason we got a pack of nice Genoa salami. I mean, I appreciate it. I didn't order it, but I appreciate some salami. Alf Enriquez says that's what everybody's advising her, but she won't listen. Yes, I would advise her that myself. Incidentally, I feel like this doesn't happen in like Indian diaspora places, as far as I'm aware, just in the motherland itself. If you want to be immersed in like Indian culture that bad, go to Guyana or Uganda or Kenya or something. There's a lot of Indian people there. Anyway, so yes, ignoring my extremely old television references. Yes, Israel and Iran are going at it. Israel has landed some strikes on Iran. Iran has retaliated. Iran raised the red flag of vengeance, which doesn't mean much of anything. Well, it actually does mean something now. Warfare in the Middle East tends to be a bit theatrical, like raising flags and dancing about instead of, getting the job done. Incidentally, I did just teach my class about the Gulf War, the first Gulf War, where we went in and stomped the shit out of Saddam in 4 days. But yeah, this time, I don't think we should be involved. I wish Israel the best, and actually, I know Iranian people. As much I admire about Persian culture, I wish them the best as well. I wish they wouldn't fight. I will point out, however, that literally Iran has been very close to making a nuclear bomb for pretty much my entire life, and it hasn't happened yet. You can interpret that as you will. I will also point out that people are immediately becoming partisan. Boy, I really wish there could be a day and age where America doesn't have to pick sides on some conflict 5,000 miles away. So says Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. Pause for laughter. Game on. Pray for Israel. It's not a game, sir. If I can call you sir. Several people have said, like, game on, etc., etc. I don't know why Lindsey Graham is so into this. Is it because Lindsey Graham is a war pig? Yes. Does he have defense industry ties? Probably. Is it like some evangelical thing? I don't know. Dispensationalism is great. Personally, 9mm SMG and myself had the same idea. He says, this man is a demon who wants to see the world burn because he's furious that he's not attracted to women. Which is basically the idea I had. You know, Lindsey, how do I put this in a way that won't be considered offensive? To hell with it, I'll just put it. Lindsey Graham, look, you're from South Carolina. You probably grew up in a, fairly conservative, religious culture. You are quite obviously a deeply closeted homosexual. And, I understand this is causing massive cognitive dissonance for you. I understand. I feel for you. I sympathize for you. But please, sir, just come out of the closet already instead of sublimating your desire for cock in, defense industry subsidies. Stop sublimating your desire for dick into just endless bloodshed and warfare around the world. Please stop. Just come out of the closet. Just come tap dancing out of the closet, sir. You'll be doing the world a favor and you'll be much happier. You'll be much happier, sir. I mean, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to wave a pride flag, but, I would much rather hang out with, the gay community than the war pig community. That's AJ Styles reference. Some people are saying, well, how dare you call Lindsey Graham a chicken hawk? He was a, Air Force colonel. Yeah, he was a JAG officer. He was nowhere near the front lines. Let's check out some comments. Alpha Mariga says, I made a reference to the Minish Cap to a younger manager at the Nordstrom Rack. She didn't get it. I'm going to be honest with you. I never played the Minish Cap, so I know it's one of the Game Boy Zeldas. Yeah, I honestly never played it, so I would probably not get that reference. But, yeah, to be honest, referencing a Legend of Zelda game from the mid-2000s is... I know what it is, Alpha Marigi. It's, it's pretty dorky, but it's somehow far less dorky than referencing The White Shadow in 2025. Yeah, when it comes to portable Zeldas, I played the hell out of Link's Awakening and the Oracles games. But yeah, I never played Minish Cap or Spirit Tracks or Phantom Hourglass. But yeah, fuck Lindsey Graham. Wait, no, I shouldn't say that because he would probably be really into that. And that's, that's why I hesitated to refer to him as Sir. I want to be, polite and not refer to him as Ms., even though he'd probably be more into that. Anyway, yeah, speaking of the immigration issue, kind of. You know who else is a illegal immigrant? Derek the Menswear Guy, Die Workwear. He is a Twitter personality who talks about men's clothing and fit and drapes and such. Incidentally, I've got some issues with menswear myself. I have several suits which need to be, repaired. I also got to put on some additions to my suits like suspender buttons and boutonniere loops. None of which have them, and I'd like to do that. The Menswear Guy is known for criticizing the dress of several Trump administration officials like Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump himself. The Menswear Guy is also apparently an illegal immigrant, and he also dresses like crap. I'm just going to post this picture here. Give me 1 second as I finagle this. Oh, yes. Also, my birthday was recently, and one of the gifts I got was a new, I can't speak for some reason, a new external hard drive. So I've actually backed up all my crap and deleted it off my computer. The computer's running much more clean and efficiently, but I'm also missing a lot of folders, so it's been a bit of a readjustment, but that's okay. Alpha Marigi clarifies that yes, Menswear Guy is in fact an illegal immigrant from Vietnam. I mean, well, there's that, but there's also the fact that he dresses like this, and he has the audacity to criticize anyone else's fit. You know, we should have known when this guy never posted pictures of his own drip, as they say, his own fit, while criticizing other people's fits. Boy, this guy looks like absolute garbage. Like, okay, first of all, he's wearing, like, gray herringbone trousers and a sweater, like a casual sweater, which looks like crap. He has some weird Indiana Jones satchel. You know, obviously, look, the guy's built like a Coca-Cola can. You know, he didn't choose to be built that way. So I'm not criticizing him for the way his body looks. But, you know, a short man can dress himself well in a way that, you know, hides his deficiencies, and he has not done so. He has not done so at all. You know, it's always been said, never listen to the advice of a fashion influencer on the internet who never posts his own physique or videos of himself working out. And you should never trust somebody who talks about fashion but doesn't show their own clothing. At Jabuli says, bro got into tailored clothing because no store carried 40 waist 12L pants. Well said. Again, this guy dresses like... You can't blame the guy for being like 4 feet tall and like 200 pounds, but you can judge him for dressing like crap. Yeah, you're a short man, I get it. You don't have to dress like my grandpa. Actually, I take that back. My grandpa, on both my paternal and maternal side, dressed way better than that. It's not just that he's short. He dresses in a way that, like, makes him look short. Also, this guy appears to have cauliflower ears. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Yes, another commenter says, you know, paraphrasing Martin Niemöller, first they came for the Lollipop Guild, and I said nothing because I was not a munchkin. Yeah, well said, sir. But yeah, in all seriousness, A, you should wear a belt. B, don't ever tuck your sweater into your waistband. Just, my God, this is terrible. Alpha Rodriguez says, I mean the lefties got mad at him because his family was South Vietnamese. Yes, how dare they escape communist brainwashing? Like, again, I'm not judging him for being Vietnamese or South Vietnamese or, you know, I'm not even judging him for being short. Obviously, he didn't choose to be short. I mean, I will point out that about half of the short men I've known have just been these petty little tyrants. Like, half of the short guys I've known have just been bullying, Napoleon complex assholes. And I've had to tell them that to their faces. I say, look, man, God made you 4 feet tall. Okay, you don't have to take your anger out on me because I didn't do anything to you. And boy, they get pissed when I say that. But yeah, I'm not making fun of the guy for being short. I have nothing against the short kings. But I do have something against rank hypocrisy and incompetence when you claim to be a fashion guru and you know very little about fashion. Alpha Marigi says he got the cauliflower ears from wrestling in scare quotes. I'm not sure what you're alluding to. Like what else would give him? I mean, is this like a gay joke? Like, I don't know how gay sex would give you cauliflower ears unless you're getting really rough with it. I also remember that opium addicts in the 1800s would get cauliflower ears from sleeping on blocks of wood. But I doubt that's happening either. So who knows? Yeah. Okay. See what else is going on. Okay, we're going to leave the European sphere aside for a bit. And we're going to visit Africa. Oh, joy. A couple of things happened in Africa, actually. First of all, remember how last year there was a whole beef about MrBeasts going to Africa and donating money to build wells and things? People were mad at that. How dare you? It's like colonialism. Yeah, it turns out basically every well he built has not been maintained and no longer operating. Boy, you got to try pretty hard to not operate, the water. But by God, they've done it. Okay. Each well requires approximately $1 per year for proper upkeep. Who pays these costs once the cameras leave? Who repairs the pumps when they malfunction? Who manages water resources to prevent contamination? Hand pumps deployed by NGOs in Africa often last less than 5 years. By the mid-2000s, 36% of about 350,000 installed pumps were non-functional. The number increased to 300,000 abandoned pumps by recent counts. This has led to $5 billion wasted due to the build, break, and rebuild approach. Yes. In theory, building a well is not hard. I mean, if you dig deep enough, you'll hit the water table at some point. But you got to maintain your wells, sir. I mean, I'm not entirely surprised that this happened, but, yeah, here we are. Okay. Incidentally, there's another story linked. Limpopo beneficiaries were given 30 cows to start farming project. They ate the cows. Boy, sloth and heathen folly, am I right? Waka waka. Yes, it is all so tiresome, as they say. Hey. Alfred says, yes, that was the joke. Bislankovich says, kid Ricky Gomez has the Russian basketball team seeking asylum. Players were getting in trouble. Salami's father was a boxer and all that. Oh, Ghosting was the Jewish kid on the team. Okay, Biff Slankovich referencing the White Shadow. Yeah, Yes, this is all an elaborate joke based on General Salami of the Iranian military, which made me think of Salami from the White Shadow, which then reminded me of Salami's appearances in Master Ninja. This is all very silly. Okay. See what's going on. Oh, yeah, also in Africa. Apparently there was some kind of large protest in favor of the Palestinians, which a bunch of people from USA, Canada, UK, and other places flew to Egypt. They were going to march to Palestine or something. They got the absolute shit kicked out of them by the Egyptians. Because it turns out that most of the Arab world doesn't care for the Palestinians much. Early on, during the Arab-Israeli wars, they took in Palestinian refugees, and apparently they did not ingratiate themselves to their benefactors, the Palestinians. So even like other Arab countries don't like them. They want them out of their countries. So yeah, we see just these little nice white liberal do-gooders getting the shit beaten out of them by Egyptians. So, yeah, I find this a bit funny. Not entirely sure what they expected was going to happen. But I guess this is what you should expect to happen when you know very little about politics and you think you know a lot, and you're going to try to save the world and you fail miserably. There is a massive, very strong border wall between the Sinai Peninsula and Palestine. But I'm sure there's no reason for that. This language says, Goldstein, bring the show back, yay. I think everybody involved in that show is long dead, sir. Okay, we're going to go to Europe for a second. We're going to go to Old Blighty. Because of course we are. So, there's been a bit of a beef going on amongst British OnlyFans skanks like Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue. The Economist has some things to say about this. In 2025, if you lie back and think of England, as they say, you might as well think of Bonnie Blue. The porn star's strengths are Britain's strengths, our political columnist suggests. Yeah, this is, Yes. Let me open up this article so I can, see the brilliance they're spitting here. A place of sin, spin, and soft power. Okay, it's behind the paywall, because of course it is. Let me see if I can get this on the archive. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can, Give me a second to finagle this. Okay, let's see if I can get this. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's no paywall and it won't let me read. So, yeah, I mean, just massive skanks just getting plapped by thousands of men. I guess that is Britain nowadays. Can't say America's doing much better, but I guess they're just laying it out there, literally and figuratively. Gee, I wonder why people hate journalists. Okay, moving on from that. Let's Speaking of Britain, something equally shitty. I mean, slightly less shitty. Something, delightfully twee, but also morbidly comedic in the British way. Prince William's billionaire pal, Sanjay Kapoor, died at the age of 53 after swallowing a bee during a game of polo. I'm curious as to how this happened. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, he got stung by a bee. It triggered an allergic reaction, and he went into shock, and he died. Okay, the businessman, chairman of global car parts company Sona Comstar, died on Thursday. The former husband of Bollywood superstar Charisma Kapoor, who I presume is a Bollywood knockoff of Charisma Carpenter, was stung by a bee on the mouth, which triggered shock, and he died. His heart stopped. Okay, yeah, so there's pictures of the prince and Sanjay Kapoor wearing their jodhpurs and riding boots. I mean, he had a wife and kids, so I respect that. I feel bad for the family, but there's something I find honestly kind of amusing about this whole affair. I do have to ask why this billionaire wasn't carrying an EpiPen, but what do I know? Maybe they're not allowed at the polo grounds. And finally, something went viral. Something incredibly stupid went viral on Twitter. At Emmy Tweet Edit on June 12th said, "Wait, y'all, is Sonic an otter? He looks like an otter." Yes, this person thinks Sonic the Hedgehog is some kind of otter. I want you to just take a step back and realize this. Realize what you're hearing here. This is a minor thing. It's minor pop culture flotsam, but this might genuinely be the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I know I say that a lot, but this is really it here. Yes, it's not like the man has his species as a sobriquet. His last name is a species. Maurice OT Takeshi the Hedgehog is not, in fact, an otter. Up close and personal, you'll see Sonic is no hedgehog at all. He's a rat. A giant blue rat. I sat next to the man at a dinner once. He made no impression on me whatsoever. Yeah, if you haven't seen Alistair King's Orson Welles interviews on old video games, you should check that out. That's it's pretty funny. I might be the only person in the world who finds that sort of thing funny, but here it is. So says Grip Skylark. If my last name was The Hedgehog and some bitch on Twitter asked if I was an otter, I'd be on the news for murder. Well said. I presume this is all relating to a mutation of the Sonic Hedgehog gene, which is used in protein synthesis. And yes, that is actually a gene that exists. Some biologist in the 90s who was a huge nerd apparently named it. And I thought it was silly when people say that Knuckles is a black man. But, well, bravo, Emmy. Bravo. And I don't know if his canon name is Maurice OT Takeshi the Hedgehog anymore. It was at one point, according to Ken Penders' horseshit. So you can discuss that amongst yourselves. Okay, it's a whole lot of nothing that got a response from that. So yeah, that does it for my prepared remarks, unless something happens very interesting right now. Yeah, say your last pieces now if you want. Yeah, the woman who referenced the otter thing, she claims she was joking, trying to, troll people. I'll let you decide if that's true or not. So yeah, that does it for my prepared remarks. Take a minute and say your last pieces, should you desire. Okay, so that does it for everything. For Larsen Halleck, this has been Larsen Halleck. All of you have a good day.